You can unmute yourself, Mr. Rasul, from your end. Mr. Rasul, ẹ lè unmute ara yín bẹ́ẹ̀.
Okay, good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay. I can hear you now. So hold on.
So I'm sharing slide. Is it visible?
It's visible now.
Oh, thank you very much. That means we can move
All
now.
right. Please, everyone, if you see the slide, can you make use of your emojis to know that, to confirm you see the slide? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let a bit wait for others to join us. So once it is 10 after 8, we will start.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So I want to encourage people to be asking questions so that we will be able to cover
Yes,
as much as
of
possible.
course, of course, of course. We have enough time now. Okay, distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
Hey,
am
get
I
inside.
audible now?
People learn law.
Am I audible
Are you
now?
sure?
Let me know. Use your emojis to know if I'm audible now. Can you hear me?
It's on.
Okay, all right.
It's not yet.
Okay, we are going to start now.
Èmi kàn tiẹ̀ wà ní inú ilé mo rí pọ́n sílẹ̀ fún mi.
Okay, let's use this opportunity to call our colleagues to join us. Please, so that Abiola Apatira, there is no audio up to now, right? Can you hear me now, Apatira? Or there is no audio up to now? Please let us know.
Hello?
Yeah, Mumbo sir.
Okay. I'm here.
Share gbọ́ mi.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'm hearing you.
I'm a bẹ̀rẹ̀ Okay. Okay, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. And thank you sincerely for rejoining us. So we deeply appreciate your patience and understanding regarding the earlier disruption. So on behalf of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter and the Public Service Knowledge Hub, we apologize for the inconvenience caused and thank for your continued commitment. Like we all know, tonight's session is all about interactive. You can hear from the facilitator that he enjoying question. But before we commence the class, we like to call on the chairman of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria Lagos State Chapter, the best union so far this year, the only union that look after our welfareism, the only union that even look after the welfareism of another union, the union, the king of the union, as Lagos State Public Service concerned. This is the only union that very much concerned about our progress, our career progression. We have other union in other cadre, but this is the only union that take this responsibility, this year 2026 responsibility on their head and say, no, everybody have to be at the next level. Please, as I'm ushering the chairman, Association of Senior Civil Servants, I person Mr. Balogun in, mi ò ní fẹ́ kẹ́ máa fẹ́ kẹ́ fi ẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn by showing your emojis to appreciate him. In fact, I don't know, I'm short of word for what they have been doing for us. Thank you so much, Chairman. Chairman, you have the floor to just give us the word of courage.
Yeah. Thank you very
You
much.
have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to sincerely thank and appreciate knowledge of, for giving us this platform for us to be able to do this for our members. And also to thank our facilitator, that is Mr. Rozo. I know you've been here before during the time that we're preparing for the CBT test and then the written examination. And I want to tell our members, I also want to appreciate you for even, going through this route, with the introduction of this SIP. You understand? Thank you very much. So going through this SIP, do you understand? Don't let us see it as a big deal. It is a way of also improving ourselves in the public service. Lagos State, in all the federation and all the states of the federation, it is only Lagos State that takes the lead. And you know what it is when we go to compete in other states, what they used to do. So in that instance, this SIP is going to be something that will also improve our capacity for us to be able to deliver, to increase our service delivery to the citizens of Lagos State and residents of Lagos State, and also to improve our own capacity. And I want to believe that with what we've done so far, success is going to be yours at the end of the day. So this is the last lap. This is the last leg. Just go there confidently and face the Mrs. Hamzat has been here before, and she has told us all we need to do by the time we get to the interview panel. So there's no cause for alarm. It is not to fail anybody. It is just to improve our capacity. And I want to assure you that, and appreciate you on behalf of the entire leadership of Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria and Lagos State Branch. I want to wish you well. I want to wish you success. And by the special grace of God, we're going to see you at the next level. Congratulations in advance, everybody.
Yes, so let your emojis keep on rolling. That is the word. See you at the next level. So on this note, once again, I will say I sincerely apologize for that breaking in transmission, then for the inconvenience. So we now fully ready to proceed with our year 2026 promotion tutorial session oral part. So tonight's focus is highly strategic and impactful topic, that is policy reform, the policy reform and development agenda. Concentrate on interview tips for public service servants. So this subject is critical for every officer preparing for Monday, that's the oral interview that will commence tomorrow. It's a strong understanding of government policies, reform initiatives, and the broader development agenda is often what sets outstanding candidates apart during interview sessions. By mastering these elements, officers not only demonstrate administrative maturity, but also increase their chances of excelling at the interview table. To lead this important discussion, it is a distinguished professional and a respected public sector figure, Mr. Rasul Taiwo, FCA, CPA, United Kingdom. Mr. Rasul Taiwo is the head finance and accounts in Lagos State Scholarship Board. Mr. Taiwo is renowned for his analytical strength, administrative experience, and dedication to public service excellence. His rich background in finance and governance, combined with his extensive understanding of public policy implementation, make him exceptionally well suited to guide us through this session. Distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as usual with your emojis in welcoming our facilitator for this evening. I can tell you for free that even our facilitator is undergoing his facing panel next week also, but he take time and said, no, I have something to deliver to my people. My people must know this. My people must fly ahead. Now, you don't want to fly alone. You don't want to get to that next level alone. He said, I have to bring my people come up through this public service knowledge hub. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with your emojis, join me in welcoming Mr. Rousseau to the call. Let me see. If I can see only one out of 249. Is it that we don't need this? Let us know so that we can suspend the class. All right. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, good evening, everyone.
Go
My
ahead,
name
sir.
is
You have the
Rousseau
floor.
Taiwo. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rousseau Taiwo. So today we'll be talking about reforms, policies, and development agenda, and with a bit bias towards public financial management. So, and of course, the main emphasis will be about our forthcoming interview in the ongoing promotion exercise called SIP. SIP, that's Structured Evaluation and Assessment Program. So as I said earlier, we'll be looking at policies, reforms, and development agenda. So let's, and as we move on, we should endeavor to ask questions so that, are we seeing my slide, please? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, hello.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I want to find out.
I'm hearing you, sir.
Is it your slide that
No,
we're
you
looking
are the one
at on
that
my
sharing.
own?
No, it's your own.
Okay. Let me just.
It's your own. It's your own.
Okay, sir.
Or should I share from my end?
Any one of the two. I just want to be sure. Okay. Can you
No,
see the one that is moving on the screen?
Your own is visible. Yes.
Is it moving now?
It's not moving.
Okay. I want
It's
to
not
reshare.
moving.
Okay, sir.
You can reshare it.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. It's visible now. Okay, it's moving now. Can you see it from your end?
Please, I think you help me to share the slide. I don't know what is happening from here.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, is it moving?
It
is it moving, sir?
It's moving, yes. We are on a Teams Plus agenda now.
No, I have passed that.
Okay, let me share it then. Let me share it then.
Please let me share from that place.
Okay, sir. Bring it down.
Okay, I'll stop sharing now.
Okay. Okay, can you see my slide now?
Yes, very well.
All right.
Okay. Great. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the Association of Senior Civil Servants under the leadership of Mr. Balogun, and also the Knowledge Hub family under the leadership of Mr. Jami Onosan. Thank you very much, sir, for all your effort. May Almighty God bless you abundantly. I also want to thank all our colleagues online. I sincerely appreciate your patience, and I'm sorry for the delay. So, as I said earlier on, we'll be looking at policies, reforms, and development agenda. So let's move quick. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. The next slide, sir. Okay. So, we look at the origin of the word policy. The origin is actually from Greek words, and it means a city and its administration. That is where the word originally came from. It's from the word polis, and with the passage of time from one civilization to the other, the spelling and pronunciation continue to change until we arrive where we are today. Policy. Okay, so then on the other hand, reforms, that one originated from Latin word reforme, and it means to form again, to shape again. That is to form something that's already formed, to form it again, to remodel something, to redo something, to form again. So that is where the origin of those things came from. The next one, sir, the next slide, sir. So, I don't know. Okay. So when we're looking at the meaning of policy, it is important to note that technically, from academic point of view, you don't look at a dictionary for definition of terms. You only look at dictionary for explanation or general meaning. And since we discovered that in the ongoing promotion, they are not asking about definition. They only want to know whether we understand. And therefore, that's why we resort to using dictionary meaning to expand our horizon in the area of understanding those concepts. So, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, policy means a set of ideas or a set of plans on what to do in a particular situation, as officially agreed by the group of people or business organization or government or political party. So any group of human beings, they agree on a particular model, a particular modus operandi, modes of operation, of handling a particular phenomenon. Then that agreement, it may be written or unwritten, that agreement is referred to as policy. If you look at the Webster Dictionary, that one says that a definite course of action or a method of action selected among alternatives and in the light of given conditions to guide and determine present and future decision. So that is what a Webster Dictionary referred to as its own explanation on policy. So again, we also look at Oxford Dictionary, which is very, very common in this part of the world. Oxford Dictionary says that it is a course of action or principle, or a course of principle, a course of action or principle of action adopted by a government or a party or a business organization or individual. So if we look at all these definitions, it simply means a set of guidelines or a set of ideas or a set of procedures that have been agreed by stakeholders in a particular setting. It could be government, it could be corporate organization, it could be family, it could be society, it could be association, it could be individual in his own personal affairs, in his own personal administration. Whatever set of principles you have decided to be following for a future situation or decision or actions, those set of ideas or procedures or principles are referred to as policy. So next slide, sir. So to understand further, we need to look at examples of policy. Before we move on, I want us to note that in the public sector, most of the policy, in fact, almost all the policies are well documented for many reasons. So almost all the documents, in fact, all the documents are fully documented. So it means that our financial regulations contain government policy. Our public service rules contain government policy. Our circulars, a staff circular, treasury circular, and other circulars. I know that there are about 3 major establishments that staff, HOS, and Akanja, which is treasury circular. All those circulars, they contain government position. This is our position on this phenomenon. Therefore, they contain circular. So the examples I took, most of them are from financial regulations and then some from public service. So if you look at financial regulation 125, it says, no officer shall be relieved of his responsibility should he delegate or entrust performance of his duties or any thereof to his subordinate officer. Let me explain that one. As the head of a department or as a senior officer, when you delegate duties and it becomes a problem or there are challenges, you will still be personally responsible for the consequence of that person's action. For example, you ask somebody to go and lock the door, your driver or your PA to go and lock the door, and then something happened and they discover that the door was not properly locked, or it wasn't locked, the case of negligence. It is from your own salary because negligence attracts surcharge based on provision of financial regulation. If you look at chapter 2, if you look at chapter 1, if you look at chapter 20, if you look at public service rule 2. So that is that. Also, another example that I want to give is disciplinary action. Whenever you want to discipline someone, whenever you want to punish somebody, whenever you want to introduce sanction or penalty for an offense, you should not use your discretion. It is not allowed. It is government policy that you have to consider the provisions of financial regulation and public service rule. If you look at chapter 4 public service rule, if you look at chapter 1 financial regulation, it is clearly stated that whenever you want to impose sanction, you consider the provisions, not that you are now under suspension. You don't do that. Don't use discretion to give. So it's a matter of policy in the public sector that you consider the provisions of public service rule and financial regulations when you are issuing sanction. Then the other one is revenue must, okay, on this one, according to financial regulations, you make sure that you collect revenue immediately when you render service, or you collect it in advance. Government don't provide services or goods on credit. It is not allowed. It's against financial regulation. That should be chapter 2. Yes, it's chapter 2 that talks about revenue. Okay, so that is that. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Also on that, if you look at chapter 3 and 4, which talk about expenditure, you do not pay suppliers and contractors on credit. It is against government policy to pay anybody in advance. It is against government policy to pay contractor or suppliers in advance. It's against government policy, and therefore, it will attract sanction if anybody does that. However, if you consider the provision of procurement law, if you consider provision of procurement law allow that you pay about 40%, which is called mobilization fee. In any case, you cannot do full payment before a contractor or a supplier render service or supply goods. So that is that. Next slide, sir. Okay, there's something called culture. In the private sector, it is called corporate culture. You can also call it work culture. Okay, so generally, when we're talking about government policy, people it become ambiguous to separate culture and policy because they are just the same in different codes, in different color. And so naturally or generally speaking, culture are usually unwritten, while policies are always fully documented. Culture, organizations encourage people to follow a particular trend, a particular way of attending to clients, a particular mode of dressing, a particular way of handling situations when there are crises, when there are uprising, when there is peace, when there is need to celebrate. There is a way some organizations celebrate. Let me give you an example. There are some banks in Nigeria. When you enter their banking hall, you notice that most of their front desk officers are light in complexion. I strongly believe it's part of their culture. It can't be a mistake. It's usually deliberate. There are some bank in Nigeria. Most of the officers, they are coupled. One of the old generation banks. Most of the officers are coupled. They are related by marriage somehow. There are some banks in Nigeria. Most of their officers are female. In fact, almost all that you will see in the banking, or those things are not mistake, and they are not documented. They didn't write them down. So, but they want things to be that way. So in the public sector too, an officer, especially senior officers, must open his brain and open his eyes to understand the way the leadership of the state wants things to be. They may not say it, they may not write it. You're supposed to understand the way things are done in your office, in your MDA, in the state public service. There are ways things are being done. Those ways, culture was defined as a way of life. So the way you do things, the way of doing things. So those corporate culture or work culture may not be clearly spelled out. They may not be written down. You're supposed to understand. Let me give you an example. Okay, I think I put some examples there. But one of the common examples is that one of the things that the leadership of public service generally frowned at is for you to be hanging around on corridor, on staircase, everywhere around, and start gisting. Anything, whether it is official or not official, you don't hang around on the corridors to start gisting. In fact, I later discovered that it has been codified in public service rule. It is now part of misconduct for you to be hanging around and gisting, talking, whether it is legal, illegal, whether it is moral or immoral, whatever it is. You sit down in your office, stop roaming about, stop gossiping. So that is that. So then when you see permanent secretaries, when you see senior directors, there is a way they comport themselves. There's a way they talk. When you are going for interview in the public service, there is a way they expect you to dress. They may not tell you. There is a way they expect you to introduce yourself. Don't allow them to be asking you to raise up your voice. Please speak louder. It's not a good thing. Don't let them tell you to speak louder. There is a level of expectations. There are things expected of you. So that is that. For another example is that we don't expect you to start putting on pink and dressing like masquerade I don't know how to describe it. You have to be modest in everything. And they will not tell you that. It's something you have to learn. You have to open your eyes and open your brain. There are so many other things that I don't want to talk about, but let's move on. Okay, next one, sir. So when we compare policy and culture, policies is a matter of regulations. They are documented in the service. It's something you must do. But culture is something you must learn. You just have to learn it. So that is that. So let's look at, okay, for example, they say list of names to be written based on seniority. Note that nominal row is also called seniority list. So apart from nominal row, anytime you find yourself in an environment, maybe in a meeting or at a program, and they ask people to write down their name, when you have a permanent secretary on seat, when you have a directors, when you have your senior colleagues, especially directors and head of MDAs and so on and so forth, or your supervisor, don't put your name on top of their names. Nobody will tell you that, but it's not allowed. It's something you must learn. You are passing, you are in a meeting representing your HOD or somebody, and you see very senior people who are even senior, your senior to your supervisors. Pass the attendance sheet to them. Let them put down there, or you leave space. You can. I used to do that a lot. You leave 1, 2, 3. You look at them 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you start writing your own name. Those are part of the culture of the public service that they will not tell you, but you have to know it and you have to practice it. Another one is, we say, shared values, norms. You learn it through observation. You look at the way PS dresses, the way they talk, the way they comport. You look at the way a director dresses, the way they talk, the way they behave. You try to emulate. They will not tell you, but they are expecting you to learn it. They are passing on the baton to you. There's a succession plan. You need to learn. You need to demonstrate. Another one is, if you find yourself in an office and you discover that your HOD or your supervisor is younger in age than you, you must open up. Let everybody know in your conduct. Let it be known that this person is my senior colleague. Nobody will tell you that, but it's something you just have to learn and you have to demonstrate it. Your loyalty must be open. It has to be shown. You demonstrate it at all by your utterances, by your conduct, by everything. Whether your senior colleagues are there or not, those are the culture, those are our shared values. It is obtainable everywhere around the world. It's not peculiar to us in Lagos alone. That is how it is. So that is that. When they ask questions in public place and your senior colleague is there, you don't need to answer. You don't address the press. You don't grant interview on behalf of the government. You don't do all those things. They are properly documented. Okay. Another one: decision and actions are shaped by government policy trust. What do we mean by this one? There is a policy trust. There is an agenda. For example, we have the Teams Plus agenda. So your decisions, your actions, your submissions, your write-ups have to align with the Teams Plus agenda. Nobody will tell you that it's something you must learn, it's something you must do. That to make sure that every year, government has an agenda, government has a plan, and you must learn it, you must key into it. For example, when you are writing a submission, you have to align your position and let us see what contribution, what you are bringing up, how is it going to contribute to the Teams Plus agenda? They ask you a question in interview, maybe a case study, a scenario-based question. Align your answer to the Teams Plus agenda. Align your answer to the LSDP. Align your answer to the position of the government policy, not just what you think, not your personal discretion. So that is that. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Okay, now we want to look at the meaning of a reform. We have looked at the meaning of policy. Okay, now let's look at the meaning of a reform. We consider the provision, so to say, of Cambridge Dictionary. And Cambridge Dictionary say that to make an improvement to a system, or to make an improvement to a law, or to make an improvement to an organization, okay, in order to make it more effective or more modern. Okay, when we look at Webster Dictionary, say to make better by removal of faults. That is, you look at a system, you remove the faults and make it better. You look at an organization, you remove the faults and make it better. That's what Webster Dictionary say. Now, when we look at Oxford Dictionary, say a change that is made to a social system or an organization in order to improve or correct it. Now, if you look at one of our publications, we say that a reform, based on the research we have done, we come with a definition. A reform is a deliberate modification. It has to be intentional. A deliberate modification of an existing process or structure. So before you can call something a reform, it has to affect a structure, that is an MDA or a department, a unit, or it will affect a process, maybe a job schedule, maybe a procedures, so, or a guidelines, the way you do things. If it is affected, then that change is a reform. And that change must be deliberate. So that is that. Remember, they are not going to ask you about definition, but we're doing this to remind ourselves of the meaning so that we know what constitutes a reform. It is also important to know that there can never be a reform without a policy. A reform is a change. So policy is a modus, a status quo, the situation that we have, the current situation. So the current situation is premised on a procedure. The current situation is premised on a law or regulation. For example, your MDA is created because of a law. The law can be a constitution, like Civil Service Commission. The law can be an enabling law, like the law that established some of the MDA, like LIRS, like Ibile Holdings Limited, like Scholarship Board, like so many MDAs are created by law. Others are based on provision of the Constitution. And so we say that the current situation, you can refer to it as policy. What I mean by policy is that they are based on government policy. They are based on government requirement, what the government wants. That's why we have existing structure and existing processes. So a change to it, if the change is deliberate and the intention is to make it better, and that change is affecting the process or structure, then it is called a reform. So next slide, sir. Next slide. Okay, now we want to compare policy and reform. If you look at the diagram, sir, this is not showing very well. The diagram is not showing very well. I think it's too big for the screen. So if you look at this diagram, you will discover that there is a vehicle, a car, in stationary position. So you can consider that one as a policy, because the way we are is based on government policy. Policy can be codified that into law or regulations like financial and public service rule. So that's government policy. Okay, or even constitution. Remember, we said that the Civil Service Commission was created by the Constitution. We said that Consolidated Revenue Fund was created by the Constitution. We said the Office of Auditor General was created by the Constitution. So if somebody outside this environment now say, why do you have Office of Auditor General? We say it's government policy. That is what government wants, and it is being tied down in writing. It is being documented. So now to push it, if you push that vehicle, then you are bringing in a reform. That is, you want it to progress, you want it to improve, you want it to move forward, then that is a reform. So that is our next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Oh, thank you. So we now want to talk about classification of functions of government. Classification of functions of government, COFOG. This COFOG, a bit bigger, sir, a bit, thank you. Oh, maybe it's my screen. Okay, so classification of function of government, COFOG, is used internationally. It's used all over the world. So it is not our creation, so to say. So it is used all over the world. I did the research and discovered that there is a division of statistics in the United Nations that created it, that introduced it. And their reasons is that they want uniformity. They want comparability. What do we mean by that? Lagos State is a very huge economy. It's a very huge economy. And by year 2052, we're expected to have a budget of $1 trillion. It's a very big economy. Economy that is feeding over 20 million human beings. Most of the countries in Europe, when I did research, they are now up to 20 million. Most of the countries over there. And Lagos alone is having over 20 million. So Lagos is very, very important. So if Lagos they prepare budgets, the budget must be understandable by international community, by our development partners, by other governments, by public servants in other climes and within the state, by administrators, by researchers. So there has to be a format. There has to be an agreed nomenclature. What is the meaning of nomenclature? It's name of something, name. So there has to be agreed names of items. So, and those names translate into classification. Let me say it again. When government prepare, but they ask you to prepare your own personal budget now, you will just write school fees of children, house rent, transport, recharge card, data bundle, and you write it. You know that what you wrote is a budget, but it doesn't have classification. You did not group them. So if Taiwo prepare his own budget, Kehinde prepare budget, Idowu prepare budget, if you now want to compare them, you may find it difficult because they did not give it the same heading, the same names, the same classification. Somebody call his own T-fare, another one call it travel and transport. So you don't know whether it's traveling out of the country or within the state. Another one call it local travel and transport. Another one call it bus fare. Another one call it general expenses. So it will be difficult for you to compare them. If you cannot compare something, then you cannot appraise. For you to appraise the government, you compare the government with where that government is coming from, last year budget, or that is a plan from last year. Or you compare the government of Nigeria and government of Ghana only when they have the same names of items, I mean nomenclature, when they have the same nomenclature, when they have the same method of classification. That is why we have COFOG. It's just that when you prepare your budget, you have the right to do your budget anyhow you want it. But for the purpose of comparison with other states, for the purpose of comparison with other countries, for the purpose of understanding by stakeholders, those who are providing funding, those who want to benefit from us, resource providers, and those who are enjoying benefit from the government, they may have interest in understanding. For us to have a uniform, a common ground, that is why they introduced COFOG. And the only purpose, prepare your budget and give it this classification, these headings, so that all your MDs, Ministry Department and agency, they will be grouped under each caption. That's the only thing COFOG is doing. No, just a method of classification introduced by the United Nations, Department of Statistics, sorry, Division of Statistics. That is that. But on that basis now, tonight, we'll be using this COFOG to classify our MDAs and identify some reforms there. Okay, so next slide, sir. Next slide. Next slide, sir. Thank you. Okay, let us look at this small question, simple question. There are 10 items under COFOG. There are 10 items under COFOG. Kindly explain why Lagos State government is using only 9. Let people respond, please. My dear colleagues in the house, please, let us see your responses. There are 10 list of 10 items that are supposed to be under COFOG, but Lagos State government is only using 9. Why? Let me check the chat box.
That board is open, so let's hear your response.
Okay. I saw somebody observe that. She said, okay. 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 Thank you for your responses. So most people say that it is defense. That is correct, but that doesn't answer the question. Okay. Okay, some people are trying here. Somebody say federal government. Thank you. This is what I want to hear. Oh, yes, they say exclusive. God bless you. So in Nigerian constitution, there's something called under the second schedule, there's a list of responsibilities there. So we have something called exclusive list. There's another thing called residual list. There's another one called concurrent list. There's another one called local government list. They are 4 in numbers. Okay, so that exclusive list, it contains activities that can only be carried out by federal government. Only federal government. They call it exclusive list. One of them is defense. Therefore, under the Nigerian constitution, no state government to handle national defense, because that defense in this case is different from security. Security is classified under public order and safety. So here we're talking about defense. So defense like military. So in Nigeria, state government don't have power to handle military. Therefore, when we are adopting COFOG, we will only talk about 9 instead of 10. So most people believe that it's number 10, but it is actually number 2. If you do your research, it is the number 2. But because we are not using it, we now adjust the others upward. It's not number 10, it's number 2. But don't worry about that. Nobody will ask you that. It's just a matter of research. Okay, so the question is that state government are not permitted to do anything related to defense, and so it is out of our area. It is beyond our power. There's something called ultra vires in law. Okay, next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Thank you. So we'll be looking at each of the COFOGs now. We look at each of the COFOGs now, and then, okay. So under the first one, General Public Service, the MDAs that you have there is MIST, Ministry of Innovation, Science and Tech. Another one is Office of the Deputy Governor. Another one is Office of Secretary to the State Government. Another one is Office of Chief of Staff, Liaison Office, Civic Engagement. They are all classified under General Public Service. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is that if you open the budget of Lagos State, and they say that you are looking for any of these MD, they will be under General Public Service, so that any other government around the world, any state or country that has its own budget and they want to compare, or anybody that want to analyze, or anybody that want to do business with Lagos State, they will be able to understand if Lagos State classify the figures in the budget in this manner, you group them according to this heading. It's for the purpose of comparison, for the purpose of appraisal, for the purpose of uniformity. That's why we are bringing it COFOG. It's just method of classification, nothing more. So it's so that the formats will look similar. It will not be easy to analyze by people outside this environment. That is it. So now, some of the reforms that we have there is review of public service rules. Most people don't know that the revision of public service rules is also a reform in itself. because the new, yes, I have answered that question, Ms. Rahima Busari. It's applicable to local government too. It's applicable to federal government too. Somebody just asked on chat box that is it applicable to them? Yes, it does. Okay, so the revision of public service rule is also a reform. Do you know why it's a reform? Let me give you an example. It is public service rule that introduced some things. For example, public service rule has now become an umbrella that covers every government establishment. As long as it is government that is paying your salary, you are not covered by public service rule. They changed the name from civil service rule to public service rule. Let's leave that one. It is public service rule that introduced extension of maternity leave to 6 months. It is public service rule that introduced paternity leave and so on and so. I don't want to waste time on that. So revision of public service is a reform in itself. It affects our procedure. It affects our structure. So establishment of OTCI. So the establishment of OTCI is also a reform, and it is under this area. Establishment of Office of Transformation, Creativity and Innovation. That act of creating that organization is also a reform in itself. Okay. Introduction of e-circular. Remember those days where they would send the clerical officer to be passing circular all over, and you'll be signing to show, to indicate that you have seen and read the circular. Now it will be shared virtually to all of us. So the introduction of e-circular is a reform. Introduction of LMS, Learning Management System, which is a mechanism through which government provides online training to officers. That in itself is a reform. It was a result of COVID-19 pandemic, when people are asked to stay at home, and government, the public service still need to communicate among key officers, all officers. So another creation of official email. Official email is also a reform because it affects our procedures. It affects our business process. You are now expected to be communicating official information only with official email, not Gmail, not Yahoo. Official email only for official communication. Adoption of new national anthem, because we embrace, we don't have choice, but the fact that we adopt it. So at the federal level, the third stanza of that national anthem has been adopted as the national prayer. As the national, I mean, I like that. So let's leave that one there. I don't want to say much on that. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. The previous one before this, sir. Thank you. So the second one, public order and safety. Public order and safety. The MDAs that you see is Ministry of Justice. Let me be mentioning the one that's not on the screen. Judicial Service Commission, Lagos State Multi-Door Court House, and so on and so forth. Others are shown on the screen. We have LNNC, Neighbor Safety Corps. We have the Law Enforcement Training Institute. We have the Electoral Commission. We have the LASEMA. We have the Fire Service, that's Fire and Rescue Service. We have Lagos DNA and Forensic Service. They are all under public order and safety. Some of the reforms, oh my God, establishment of LETI. That number 2 is the first that I mentioned there. Establishment of CBD as a Central Business District. Movement of NYSC. Some people have not noticed that NYSC, the affairs of the youth corps that are serving under Lagos State, have been moved from the Office of Special Duty to Ministry of Youth and Social Development, from Ministry of Specialty to Ministry of Youth and Social Development. Establishment of a Lagos State Security Trust Fund is also another reform in this area. As a result of this one, most police officers in Nigeria prefer to work in Lagos State because this organization provides equipment and incentives to police officers working in Lagos. So that's why they say Lagos is the most secure place in Nigeria. So next one, sir, next one. Okay. to plug my phone. Okay, this one, economic affairs. Here, what you have here is all accountants, activities of all accountants, or operations of all accountants, all procurement officers, all planning officers, all internal auditors, and so on and so forth. So the MDAs we have here is MAPB, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Industry, Ministry of Agri, LRS, Debt Management Office, and so on and so forth. Even STO, they are all under this, even all major revenue generating MDA that are fully commercial. For example, we have the Printing Corporation, we have the Bile Oil and Gas, we have the Bile Holdings Limited, we have the Bile Microfinance Bank, and so we have the Wharf Landing Collecting Authority, and so on and so forth. So that is what are the reforms adopted by the economic sector or economic affairs family? We have the Oracle Financials, budget officer use it, accountant use it, procurement officer use it. So is a major reform. We have the e-pay slip that is affecting all of us. In case they say that which would mention one reform that is affecting you. E-pay slip, electronic pay slip. We all receive our pay slip electronically now. We have the e-procurement. E-procurement, most ministries are using it, mainly ministries. What is e-procurement? It is the use of information and communication technology to implement procurement proceedings. So that is the LRP, Lagos Revenue Portal, is also another reform. Then we have the adoption of international public sector accounting standards. We have the e-payment system. What do we mean by e-payment system? Before, what we have is any MDs, whether it's it's an agency, it's a parastatal, or even an hospital, if they want to collect money from Treasury Office, they will send an officer to collect check. You go and receive check, and that check will be paid into their account. But they have stopped that now, a few years ago. And so what we have now is they credit your account electronically. That one is safer and faster. It is safer and faster. So that is what we mean by e-payment system in that regard. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Thank you. Environment. Here, as the name implies, we have the Ministry of the Environment and other MDs under that sector, like the LASPA, Parks and Garden, like LASEPA, Environmental Protection, like Water Corporation, like Lagos State Signage and Advert Agency, and so on and so forth. Those are called environment family or the environment sector. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? If you want to know what government has spent on that sector or the impact of your MDA to that sector, you will go to this area in the budget. You go to the budget and check the environment sector. Okay, we have the reforms. Office of Drainage was created. The Lagos State Sanitation Corps, formerly known as KAI, Kick Against Indiscipline. So that's another reform under environment. LASWACO, Lagos State Wastewater Regulatory Commission. We have task force, okay, Office of Special Offenses and Environmental Units, Environmental and Special Offense Units. And then, okay, good. We have the reorganization of electricity, but a circular came in this year that reorganized the electricity board into 3 different entities. For those in that area, in that sector, please go and check that circular. It is a very laudable program that can spare and fast track the progress of Lagos State if our people key into that agenda of the government. It's a very, very loud, it's a beautiful idea. So next one, sir. Next one, sir. Okay, cover 5, housing and community amenities. Housing and community amenities. Under this sector, we have the Ministry of Housing, we have the Physical Permits Agents Authority, we have the LASRERA, which is a Real Estate Regulatory Authority, we have the Lands Bureau, popularly called Lands, we have the LASPEMA, which is Environmental Monitoring, we have the LASURA, Urban Renewal Authority, and so on and so forth. So major reforms in this sector is EDGIS, which means electronic Geographic Information System. What is the meaning? What does that mean? It means that if you have any business to do with lands, maybe, or anything related to lands, maybe CFO or application or verification request for info, you can do it online in the comfort of your home using your mobile device. You don't need to be running around queuing for one thing or another. It's a laudable one. It's a very beautiful on edges, and it's a major revenue generating initiative too. Establishment of Lagos State Material Testing Lab is another beautiful innovation. It's a reform too. Slum regeneration, if you look around you, you will see a huge development going up and down, right? Especially in the area of rural, urban regeneration. Slum regeneration. Okay. So we have registration of another reform that is, I think it is this year, that we have under this sector, is that Lagos State government is now registering estate agents and developers. In the past, what happened is that it is an uncharted area. Anybody will wake up in the morning after collecting Owajo and say he's now a developer, an estate agent, and they have a lot of things going on, and the public, members of the public need help. And now the Lagos State government has come to their help, to their rescue. And so we have an initiative that is registering estate agents and developers. It is now illegal for you to practice without registering, whether individual or corporate. You register with the government. Government need to know your location, your capacity, and your everything, so that there will be sanity in that area. Okay, another one is the use of QR code. If you look around you, you will discover that some of our signage, some of the signboard that we have these days, they have a QR code, QR. QR simply means quick response. If you use Android phone or iPhone, you will know what is QR. That code that is usually square in shape that you scan. When you scan it, it will take you to the website of that ministry or responsible authority to validate the information on that signboard. So that is another initiative. It is also being used by the economic family. For example, if you look at Lagos State Treasury receipts, government official receipts, if you look at it, you will see QR code. Once you point your phone's camera on it, it will take you to a place, another environment like a website, that you'll be able to validate the information that this document is genuine. Okay. We have master plan. We have master plan that have been created long ago, and the government is serious about it. And now they're already implementing it, particularly the housing sector and the environment sector. That's why you are hearing all sorts of news about the government is really doing wonderful in that area of implementing master plan. So for most people that are complaining that they demolished their structure, go and check the master plan. So that is, let's leave that one. Let's move on to the next one, sir. Next slide, sir. So COFOG 6 is health. Health, here we have Ministry of Health. We have the LASHMA. What is LASHMA? Lagos Health Management Agency. We have the Primary Healthcare Board. We have the Traditional Medicine Board. We have the General Hospitals, that is hospital units, all the hospitals in Lagos State. We have the LSACA, Lagos State AIDS Control Agency. We have the LABCA, Building Control Agency, and so on and so forth. Those ones falls under, sorry, there's an error. Building Control Agency cannot be here. Is another thing entirely. That one is an error. Okay, reforms under this sector, we have e-health platform. There is now electronic health platform whereby people or clients enjoying services or about to enjoy services in government hospital can have their records taken and retrieved electronically, stored electronically. We have health districts. You will notice that we now have health district 1, district 2, about 6 of them like that. So what is the reason behind creation of health district? Is to bring government down, closer to the grassroots level. So that's why we have that. And it makes a lot of sense to have permanent secretaries superintending over certain areas, different areas, instead of centralizing it under one. So it's bringing the government closer to the people. That is the central idea behind it. So we have, okay, the establishment of a service commission, even the health reform law is also another one. Dedicated account for government hospitals. Government hospitals are allowed to have their own revenue domiciled in them and to be used for their services. Then introduction of e-billing in the health sector, especially in government hospitals these days, you have bills being generated electronically. So, and so on and so forth. So that is that. Next one, sir, next one. So I must say that the reason why we're running through all these things is that each of us, as we're together on this platform right now, we are from different areas, different MDA. So your focus will be on the one that concerns you. You don't need to memorize anything. Focus on the one that is related to your MDA, to your sector. So because we have people that cannot mention two reform in their sector, and you are a management staff, we're supposed to be able to demonstrate that you know what is going on and you are capable of contributing to the progress of government. So if we don't know about reform, it means that we don't know what is going on. And if you don't know about reform, it means that you cannot provide a solution to future problem. And that is what government is looking for. They need people that can provide solution to future problem. Lagos is futuristic. We have a 30-year plan. We are looking forward. So and we are preparing every day. That's why we have the Ingbeti Summit, which is the Lagos Economic Summit that is done every two years. Where we talk about that one later. So under this area, recreation, culture, and religion. Under this sector, we have the Ministry of Home Affairs, we have the Sports Commission, we have the Pilgrimage Board, Muslim and Christian Pilgrimage Board. Okay, what are the things that we have seen them done recently? They are the adoption of the national anthem, the introduction of public holiday for traditional worshippers. We are all the same, because one of the mandates of this ministry is to create harmony, religious harmony. To live up to that mandate, they need to do something like that. There are a lot of other things they are still doing too. Okay, so next slide, sir. Next slide. Thank you. Education. Under this, we have the Ministry of Tertiary Education, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. We have the Scholarship Board, Exam Board, Teaching Service Commission. We have SUBEB. We have the SCRIP. We have so many of them. We have the, let me mention some other ones that are not on the screen. Office of Educational Quality Assurance. We have the Agency for Mass Education, and so on, a lot of them that are functional. In fact, all the universities that belong to Lagos State, the 4 universities, they are also an independent entity under this sector. Although they are supervisory supervisory ministry, which is the Ministry of Tertiary Education. Okay. Now, what are the reforms? You remember that we have 3 additional universities. We have 4 universities. For those of us in the education sector, please don't forget. The establishment of 4 new universities, 3 additional universities. And in fact, there's another one coming up, University of Medicine. It's at advanced stage. Those things are reform on their own. Okay? Eco Excel, those in the education sector, you know what we mean by Eco Excel. The introduction of ICT to teachers and students in primary school. Okay? We have establishment of education district, just like the health district, is bringing government closer to the people so that government will be able to see what is on the ground and then able to connect with ordinary people, provide services, listen to their problem, to their complaint, then be proactive. That's why we are having districts in health and education. It's not for decoration. Also, there are people that are capable and willing to serve the government, to provide resources, intellectual resources to the government. Those are the PS that we have in education district, in a health district. So room for them to serve, okay? Introduction of CBT by LSEB. People will looking at it, that what is this one? Lagos Examination Board is responsible for conducting exam for all officers, all public servants that want to do confirmation and some other exams like that. They are now using CBT and computer-based test. And so that is also a reform. And it is better because those days we used to carry paper about sort of papers, reading. And in fact, let's leave that one. But these days, the result of the exam will come out the same day. So it's very, very easy, very, very efficient. And it's also generating revenue for the government. So we have an establishment of MT and MBSA. What is the meaning of that? We used to have one ministry, Ministry of Education. Under that ministry, we used to have Office of Special Advisor on Education, which is very, very functional, large, operational, and efficient. So something that is worth being a ministry, supervising universities and other major MDs. So we need to make it a full-fledged ministry as obtainable in other areas. For example, in South Africa, we have something like that, basic education. Okay, so now it has been split into two. You have the Ministry of Tertiary and Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. That is that. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Okay, social protection. This is the last of the COFOG that we have in Lagos State, COFOG 9. Under this, we have the Ministry of Social Youth and Social Development, MYSD. We have the Women Empowerment and Poverty Alleviation, WAPA. We have the LASODA, Office of Disability. We have Women Development Centers everywhere. And so those are the components of the social protection sector. And reforms under this area, as there is an expansion of life skills empowerment program. They expand the program. There's also establishment of additional skill acquisition centers. So that is that. Next slide, sir. Thank you. Okay, let us look at this case study, everybody. Please let us participate. Okay, the question is, assuming the government restructured the parent ministry of your MD, maybe your MD is a ministry or an MD under a ministry. If the government restructured that ministry, what do you think will be the possible implication for officers? Please, I want us to note that if you are a management staff, especially those on level 15 and above, or if you are somebody that is willing or open to become a permanent secretary, you must always be ready for questions like this. It may not come out today, but just be ready for it if you are ready to get to that level. They'll be asking you questions that require thinking, questions that you may never have envisaged. But if you have information in your head, you'll be able to respond. So if government restructure a ministry, what do you think will be the possible, or government restructure your MD? What do you mean by restructure? Government may merge some agency under your ministry. Government may scrap an agency. Government may add additional department or units. Government may scrap a particular department. Government may move a mandate from one MD to another, like they move the core member, National Service Corps, that are serving under Lagos State, from the Ministry of Special Duties to the Ministry of Youth, because they are actually youth, Ministry of Youth and Social Development. So if government, that is what we mean by restructuring. So what do you think will be the effect? What do you think will be the impact? Oh, thank you. Somebody say, okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. We have seen different response. Somebody said there will be a new leadership. Well, that one will be obtainable if it results to scrapping a department or an agency or introducing a new department or an agency. Okay, thank you. Somebody say redeployment of officer. Good. If they restructure, there is most likely to be a redeployment. Let me explain. If they restructure, it will affect job schedule. The people that are working on a particular thing may leave that thing, and then another set of people will now have to undo it now. And so somebody said there will be training. Thank you. There will be training of those new officers. It will also have financial implication. Me, I'm an accountant. Any question you ask me, I'll think about the revenue and expenditure aspect, the two mirrors I'm using. So it will have implication. Anytime they restructure, you start printing another letterheaded paper, another signboard, different things. You may need to start reorientating people that this, because you have to enlighten people now. You have to issue circular to communicate it. Those are the implications. So that is it. And sometimes it may result in generating revenue. But more importantly, what government look at most is efficiency and effectiveness. They restructure because they want a better way of doing things. They restructure because they want a cheaper ways of doing things. They restructure because they are providing answer to some questions. There are some feedback that the government has got, and so they need to respond. So those are the reasons behind things like that. And so those are the implications. It will cost money most times, because at worst, stationary. Sometimes to build another, to have another, maybe additional furniture or another building, and relocation, movements, including redeployments, orientation, reorientation, training, and so on and so forth. In fact, sometimes it may require broadcasting for the public to know and understand. So those are the things. Thank you very much for your response. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Thank you for that rest. Okay, let's look at a brief look at the Teams Plus agenda. Teams Plus agenda is a strategic blueprint for attaining the vision of Lagos State government. What do we mean by that? It is a means to an end. We have a goal. We have a vision, then a goal. We now need means to achieve the goal so that we can attain the vision. And so the methods, the methodology, the means, the strategies, that is the team's agenda. So what is required of us, every officer, every MDA, you have to align your activities, whatever you are doing officially. Make sure you align, you fall in line, you align. It is called unity of direction in management. You face the same direction. So you align with the team's agenda. That is the policy trust. That is what government wants to use. That is the strategy to attain government goals. So that is that. So, and ensure that every action and decision, every program and project contributes to the Teams Plus agenda. So if you ask me about something, maybe you ask me about railway, you ask me about BRT, you ask me about maybe a new idea or a submission, I will first connect it to the Teams Plus agenda, so that I will let you know that I'm in line. I'm in line with the current policy trust of the government. So that is that. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pillars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pillars because of the plus that was introduced. Next slide, sir. Okay, let's look at this question. Which of these belong to the 5th pillar of the team's agenda? Your response? Which of these belong to the 6th pillar? 5th pillar, number 5, 5th pillars of the Teams Plus agenda? Education, district, judiciary, housing. Oh, God bless you. This person got it. Films Village is under entertainment and is located in Ekpe. So let's thank you. How come everybody got this question? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Okay. Teams Plus agenda relationship. Next one, sir. Next one. Something has disappeared from that screen. Please let me go back to the previous one, sir. There is a diagram I put here to explain that. No. Next one. Yes, it's okay. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so Things Plus agenda. The first one is traffic management and transportation. Let me quickly highlight the 7 so that it's important that just in case of the future, let us commit it to memory at least for the next 3 years. The first T is traffic management and transportation. The second one is health and environment. The next one is education and technology. The next one is making Lagos a 21st century economy. The next one is entertainment and tourism. The next one is security and governance. And the last one, which is plus, means youth empowerment, gender equality, and social inclusion. So we can now discuss them. So the reason why I say we should commit it to mirror for the future is that it is not only about this promotion exam. We can meet ourselves anywhere. And also prepare yourself towards the future. Any of us can be the head of MDA if God permits. So for you to get there, Lagos State has a very, very high standard. They set question, they do interview, they do practical, a very serious one. It is better to prepare on time before we get to that level. So traffic management and transportation, those that we have there is Ministry of Transport, LAMATA, LASMA, MVE, Number Plates Authority, and so. Now, what I want to quickly say is that remember that we have classified all MDAs based on COFOG. That one is inside budgets. But this one is when it comes to appraisal, when it comes to planning, when it comes to implementation, you use Things Plus agenda. When you want to write budget, you use COFOG. I hope we are together. Let me say it in another way. COFOG is a creation of United Nations. It's an international standard. And so, because Lagos State government has international outlook, every governor will continue to use COFOG in the budget. But Things Plus agenda is only for this administration. After the end of this administration, the next governor will come up with his own, because Lagos is very, very creative with a lot of intellectual resources. Lagos is just too wealthy, too rich. So the next government will not use Things Plus because the previous governor did not use Things Plus agenda. The one before that one did not use Things Plus agenda. So if government want to appraise, they will now look at transport sector, traffic management and transportation, those families, they appraise what is their contribution to the overall goal of the government, of this administration. If they want to help them, they want to support them, they group them using this format, Things Plus agenda. If they want to measure their performance, appraise them. If they want to monitor them, they still use Things Plus agenda. But if they want to do budget, they use COFOG. So let us leave that one there. We see coming. And this Things Plus agenda is directly connected to SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. What is SDG? Remember, some years ago, we have Millennium Development Goal 2015. It was a target that a certain goals ought to be achieved in different sectors of every economy before year 2015. It was then revised by year 2015. They revised it. The new one is the Sustainable Development Goal. Just as we revise our own LSDP 2025, we revise, we update it and make it LSDP 2052. Any plan that we have in our personal life, so it must be subject to review. We can't be static now. We can't be in one place. Things around you are changing. Your own plan too, you modify it. That's why government is changing, is modifying, not changing. It's a modification for better. Modification in tandem with reality. That is it. Let us move on. Remember, team's agenda is a strategy, but COFOG is a method of classifying. There are two different things. So let's move on. Next slide, sir. Okay, health and environment. Under the Teams Plus agenda, the next one is health and environment. As the name implies, you know that Ministry of Health will be there. LASHMA will be there. EFAMA, that's Health Facility Management, Monitoring and Accreditation Agency will be there. LASEPA, Environmental Protection, Ministry of the Environment, Environmental Sanitation Corps, LAGES is there. So those are the people under this area. It will be very, very bad for any public servant not to know where they belong. Go. That's why we're doing this. You have to know where you belong. If you know where your agency belongs, let me say it properly. You know that there is something called common service, generic. Those of you that are accountants, auditor, procurement, planners, administrators, you can be deployed anywhere, and your format of operation is usually the same in most sectors. It means that for Teams Plus agenda, your parent MDA, you must know where they belong. The place of work, the MDA that you work, which is different from your parent MDA, you must know where they belong to. Let me give you an example. I work in education sector, but I am an accountant. So under Teams Plus agenda, accountants belong to security and governance. You have to have an idea of that one. Then I work physically under education sector. That one belongs to the third pillar, education and technology. You have to have an idea of that one too. Then you need to know at least one reform or two reform in those areas. That's what we are saying. These things are available in public space. And the reason why you must know it is not just because of this promotion. When you have opportunity to interact with some people, you may find yourself in an environment where the governor is just beside you or some other people. You may just have 2 minutes to interact. Whatever you say will determine the future connection, the future relationship. So we must have some things, no matter how small, some things that is sensible, some things that is productive, some things, some information that can show that you are a solution provider in the public sector. You must have it inside you at any time if they wake you up. One of them is to know reform, is to know which sector you belong. It's like a man that doesn't know his address now. If you don't know the sector that you belong, if you don't know the pillar of things that you belong, the sector of COFOG that you belong. There are programs and projects under each sector. The one that concerns your own area. You, like we say, we have Oracle Financial for us accountants. They have the blue line, red line for those in transport. They have the Massey, one of the largest pediatric hospital, the largest children hospital, specialist children hospital in West Africa, in Lagos Island, under a sector. There are others like that. We have the edges for lands and environment, and so on and so forth. We have the Films Village for those in entertainment. So there are programs that government is spending billions on that is affecting people's life positively. You need to have idea of those things. If you have idea, it means that you are telling them that you are useful, you are needed at higher level, you deserve to be promoted. That is what they want us to demonstrate, that you have something to offer. Let us move to the next slide, sir. Next slide. Thank you. Education and technology. Education and technology. We say that we have Ministry of Education, and it has been split into two for the benefit of humanity, for the progress of Lagos. They divided the Ministry of Education into Ministry of Tertiary Education, MTE, and then MBS, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Ministry of Tertiary Education will be supervising the 4 universities. And the 2 new universities that is coming, we are expecting University of Medicine, Medical University, I've forgotten the name, or University of Medicine, is coming up soon. And we have College of Nursing, it's also an institution. We have the Lasco Cooperative College, it's also an institution. We have so many of them like that. We have the one in Abbey Road, is it Lasuste? No. The one in Abbey Road for specializing in health technology. Last Lagos State College of Health Technology. We have the TESCOM, we have the Education District, we have the SUBEB. All these are the families that we have in the education sector. So that is that. Since we say education and technology, automatic, thank you for that. Thank you, Miss Margaret. So and so on and so, that is that. Please, let's move on to the next one. Making Lagos a 21st century economy. This is another one. Under this area, it aligns with SDG 2. Thank you for that, Mr. Matuluko, Ms. Ronke Olukola. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. So we have Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology. We have the Public Works, we have the WAPA, we have the housing, and so on and so forth. So the agenda is that this at the MDA we want to use as strategy to make Lagos a 21st century economy. We have a long list, but those are the ones I remember when I was working on that. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Thank you, Lagos University of Medicine and Science. God bless you for that. Okay, entertainment and tourism. We have the Ministry of Tourism, we have the LASRAP, and so on and so forth. I can't remember the MD here, but it is important for each of us to know where we belong under the Teams Plus agenda. Next one, sir. Next slide. Thank you. Security and governance. Security and governance. We have the finance family. All the finance families are here. For example, the State Treasury Office, Office of Accountant General, Public Procurement Agency, Internal Revenue Service, Debt Management Office, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Ministry of Finance. Okay, I remember something now. Remember when we're talking about culture, corporate culture, when we're talking about work culture, we say that if you are given opportunity to write the names of people present somewhere, you put name of PS or directors, senior colleague, put their names or you leave space for them to write it by themselves. The same way, if you are writing something and you are to include name of ministry and some agency, please put the names of ministry at the top, please. That's part of our culture. Nobody will tell you that, but it is expected that you do that. We say that cultures are usually not written and they're expecting you to follow it. Please note that, please note that. That's what I've been following if you have been looking at the slide. Okay, that is that. Next one, sir. Next slide, sir. Okay, the plus. I have explained earlier on that it means social inclusion, and it is social inclusion, youth empowerment, and gender equality. And we know the MD that is dealing with this. We know that Ministry of Youth and Social Development is dealing with youth. We know that WAPA is dealing with poverty alleviation, which is part of social inclusion. Those who are poor and vulnerable will be considered. We know about LASUDA that they are dealing with people living with disability, which is part of social inclusion. So those are the MD. There are many other MDs, but those are the ones I remember. But it is for us to bear in mind. We must know. Thank you. Somebody asked about Ogunlano. Somebody asked that House of Assembly. Well, House of Assembly will be under general public service under KUFOG. Oh, somebody said I jumped S. I did not jump S. So S is security and governance, and it is the economic family that is there. I didn't jump. Let me explain again. Economic family, all accountants are under security and governance. All procurement officer, all planning officer, auditors, LIRS staff, DMO, Debt Management Office, STO, State Treasury Office, anything that has to do with finance, they are under security and governance. Okay, somebody asked me, why? Okay, when we talk about security, when we talk about governance, if there is no revenue mobilization, efficient expenditure management, if there's no money, you are not secure. Let me say it again. Earlier on, I say Lagos is the most secure state in Nigeria. And I justify it by saying that the creation of Lagos State Security Trust Fund, if you remember, I said that earlier on. Lagos State Security Trust Fund, what is the meaning? They call all the banks in Lagos State and all other private sector organizations. They bring money, they are contributing money into a fund. That fund is called Lagos Security Trust. What do they use with the money? They use the money to buy bulletproof vests for police working in Lagos. They use the money to buy vehicle for police. Go and look at police vehicle. You'll be seeing donated by Lagos State government or courtesy of LSSTF. So those are the things. So I didn't skip that. I mentioned it. Okay. So that is that. Next one. Next slide, sir. Okay. Now let us link them together. Somebody asked about lottery. Lottery is under security and governance. There are some agencies that they are specifically created only for generating revenue. Lottery board is part of them. LIRS is part of them. Wharf Landing Collecting Authority is part of them. Ibile Holdings is part of them. They are mainly, the only reason is to generate revenue so that they will be able to fund other government establishments. So any organization created specifically, mainly to generate revenue is under security and governance. Any organization that is dealing with safety, security, and orderliness, they are under security and governance. Those that are providing empowerment, infrastructure, somebody mentioned infrastructure, they are under making Lagos 21st century economy. Let us move. Let us see this slide, please, ladies and gentlemen. Connecting the dots. Now, assuming there is a young man that has little amount of money, maybe 2,000 naira or 1,000 naira, and the person want to eat 3 times today. If the person want to eat maybe 3 times tomorrow, he want to eat 3 times with just 1,000, because he need to take maybe paracetamol 3 times tomorrow, and he doesn't have money, he doesn't have any means, just 1,000. He's not going anywhere. So if he's in a particular place, the person is not going out, 1,000 naira. The person now later thought of my plan. Let me buy a big bread. Then I will divide the bread into 3. Eat 1 part in the morning for breakfast, 1 part for lunch, then 1 part for dinner. So the person has a vision. A vision is a mental picture of where you want to be in the future. Vision, mental picture of where you want to be in the future. That is a vision. Now, he now has a plan, which is the bread. He now get a knife to cut it. That is the strategy. Then he now use plates or tray to pack it, to make sure everything is in place. That is the policy. Then he may wash the plate with water, wash the knife with water, even drink water to flush the bread. That is reforms. Reform can be used to midwife plan. Reform can be used to clean a strategy. Reform can be used to tidy up a policy to advance the system. So I want to be specific now. That vision is the Lagos State Development Plan. We have a vision to become Africa's model mega city. That is the vision. Go and read it there. Africa's model mega city that is safe, secure, and productive. Now, what is the plan? Our plan is the LSDP, is documented there. Our plan is the budget. Our plan is the MTF, because there are 3 types of plan as per time frame. When it comes to time frame or horizon, you can call it time horizon, there are 3 types of plan. We have long-term plan. Any plan that is more than 3 years is long-term. We have a 30-year plan in Lagos, 2052. And so we now have a plan, LSDP. Another plan, we cut it into pieces. Next slide, sir. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at your screen again. Please return me back to the previous slide. I want to show something. The previous slide, sir. Okay. That strategy that you are looking at, the knife that you are using to cut is the Teams Plus agenda. This knife is the Teams Plus agenda. Remember that you can change your knife. You can wash your knife with reform. You can change your mind when you change governor. They bring in 10-point agenda, 7-point agenda, SPA, TPA. Remember our previous governors. Then you have policy to guide the regulations, the guidelines, the procedures, to make sure that the bread did not fall down, to make sure the bread is where it is. You need a tray or dish. That is the policy. Hello, are we together? Then we have reform. So please, sir, take me to the next slide, sir. Okay, look at it. We have a vision to become a model for Africa, a model of mega city that all African society will be looking up to. And then we will now be a global economic hub that is all over the world. People will be willing to do business here. Look at Dubai. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at Singapore. Look at China. For no reason, people will go and do conference there. In Canada, in London, people will just go and do conference there. They can do the conference in another country. They can do it in Ghana. They can do, but for some reason that is not visible to many of us, they just have to be in that place. That is what we want Lagos to be. When long time ago, when I first visited Abuja some years back, I say, and people will say Nigeria is not good. Look at this. See Abuja and die. See Abuja and freeze. Then, you see better and it's getting better. And Lagos is not sleeping. This is a city that does not sleep. Look, the difference between Lagos State and other states is that in other states in Nigeria and in some developing countries, it's only one city or 2-3 cities that are developed. In Lagos State, every local government have cities. Every local government have more than one cities that is developed. Are you talking about Epe or Apapa or Etiosa or Lagos Island? Where do you want to say is not developed, civilized in Lagos? Just tell me. We have roads, construction of roads in every local government every day. Go and look everywhere in Lagos, construction of roads. So that is that. So now, let us look at it. If you remember the last slide, you see that there is a vision. The vision is, I need to eat food to fill my tummy. That is my vision. Now, the plan is, I have to buy food. I need to get food. Now, the food is for the whole day, 3 times daily. Okay, let's come back to this level. Please, let the, okay. I've seen what I'm looking for. So, the long-term plan, the 2052 LSDP, Lagos State Development Plan 2052, how do we arrive at it? There was a Millennium Development Goal. I have talked about it earlier on. Now, there is Sustainable Development Goal, which take over from Millennium Development Goal. A global agenda for every country that want to move forward, every state that want to move forward. We follow Sustainable Development Goal. And that is one of the major foundations of the Things Plus agenda. So now I'm talking about how they come about the Lagos State Development Plan. The MDG, the SDG, the DAWN, D-A-W-N, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, DAWN, D-A-W-N, Development Agenda. So there's an agenda to integrate all Southwest states in terms of security, in terms of education, in terms of commercial activities, in terms of culture, in terms of security. So there is an agenda to integrate the Western, Southwestern region, and others regions are already copying it. So I have mentioned Sustainable Development Goal, Millennium Development Goal, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, and then there was a turning point, 10-point agenda, TPA, 10-point agenda, if you remember, our former governor. There was a 7-point agenda, SPA, by one of our former governors, if you remember. There are pronouncements from the governor, the present governor, and the past governors during their time. Any pronouncement is a policy statement, is the position, is the direction that the state is facing. So there were also research, outcome of different researches. There were also master plans for different areas in Lagos State. And then, more importantly, there was and there is an Eyingbeti Summit. Eyingbeti Summit. Eyingbeti Summit is also called Lagos State Economic Summit. It is being held every 2 years. In that summit, they will invite traditional rulers, religious leaders, political leaders, development partners, organized private sectors, anything you can think of, student body, every strata of the economy. Everybody will be invited, their representative. Come and tell us what you feel about where we are, what you have to say about how we can move forward, how we can support your own aspiration, how you can support our collective aspiration. They talk about this thing openly every 2 years. Lagos State have been doing this since the time of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And other states are sleeping for Nigeria. Today, almost all the states have copied this strategy. So it is reports, resolution from Eyingbeti Summit that form the major aspects of the LSDP. If we have another Eyingbeti Summit, it will be used to adjust future requirements, future plans of Lagos. So if you become the governor of Lagos State today, the places that we want to build BRC, the places that we want to build hospital, the places that we want to build airport is already made, is ready made. Now, they now want every year, the government will now be having plan, which is called budget, the financial plan. That plan is for 12 months. That is why it is called short-term plan. The budget must be in line with the LSDP. The budget must be in line with the LSDP. For example, we have the Blue Line, the rail transportation that runs from Marina to Okukumaiko. Marina in CMS to Okukumaiko in Mile 2. We have the Red Line that will run from Marina to Alagbado, but already functional, most times from Oyingbo to Alagbado. That is Red Line. We have a Green Line. We will have a Green Line very soon from Marina to Lekki Freight Trade Zone. We will also have a Purple Line. Now, why am I saying this? If we have another governor, he has to key into this plan. This is the brain work of millions of sensible Lagosians, intellectuals, including foreigners, experts, development partners, technocrats, bureaucrats. They come together every 2 years to bring up these ideas. So Lagos is far ahead of all other states. In fact, far ahead of Nigeria, because Nigeria as a country has been changing development policies and must stop. Another one will come and change this and change that. But Lagos State has been consistent. Has been consistent since 1999. Since the first governor under the current what do we call it? Republic, current republic. Under this report, the first governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, since his time, we have been consistent as per policy. We let the whole world know that we know where we are going. Don't bring any dustbin into our destiny. If you have an investment, we know where to put it. They have created square hole. You only need to bring square peg. They have created round hole. Bring a round peg. Unlike other states, that it is those people coming from abroad that will tell them, we want to give you this. You have to put it on your table. We want to give, you have to put it under your. No, we already created. There's a place we want seaport. There's a place we want airport. We don't want agriculture on Lagos Island. We want agriculture in Ekpe. We want it in Ikorodu. We want it in Badagry. There's a plan for every piece of land. Every program, every project have an idea behind it. That is what we call our Lagos State Development Plan. Oh. So that is that. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us move to the next slide. Okay, before this one, please, before this one. Okay, I didn't explain the one in the middle. Okay, so there is something called medium-term plan. Any plan that is more than 1 year, but within 3 years, is called medium-term plan. An example An example is MTSS, MTF, and MTRF. These are multi-year plan that covers a period of 3 years. Multi-year plan that covers it, because medium term simply means 3 years. Short term simply means within 1 year. Long term means more than 3 years. And so when you see the budget, it will show 3 years figure. Now, where do we get this one from? Shibi, we have talked about where we get the LSDP from. Where did we get this from? Where did we get the budget from? Let me say, our annual budget is actually a creation of the House of Assembly. Although from the executive presented, it is the House of Assembly that breathes life into it, that make it a law. Our LSDP, we have talked about where it comes from Mbeti Summit mainly. And then all other documents like research work, like pronouncement of the leadership of the state. If any commissioner says something in public, it's a policy statement. It is a direction. It's part of our vision. All those things put together. Now we now say MTSS. Where does it come from? It comes from Fiscal Responsibility Act, 2007, FRA, Fiscal Responsibility Act. That is the law that created medium-term budgets. There are a lot of things there, but don't let us go there. But it is that act that provides that government budget should be showing 3-year figure. And so there should be an interaction between MDAs that belong to the same sector to strategize. That's why we have medium-term sector strategies, sector strategy. Sit down together and devise means to make it work and look future. Look at the future, a 3-year plan. That is where they will say, we saw what you proposed in your budget proposal, 3 million. We don't have that because the other sister MDA is going to do this. We have to host World Cup. We have to do this. So we cap you. Maximum limit, cap, envelope, we cap you. We give you envelope to limit it to this amount for now. Don't worry, we will give you next year. It is futuristic. They will look at more than 1 year. Don't let us waste time. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide. Explain each of the icons on this coat of arms. So I want to ask, ladies and gentlemen, should we go into this or we leave it, we skip it? Hello, are we there?
Yes,
hello.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. So if you look at this, at the topmost level, we have a white cap, which is worn only by Lagos State traditional rulers. Most common in Lagos and also in Benin. Most common. If there's any other place they wear it, maybe Ogun State, maybe few in Ogun State, but it's more common in Lagos. All the classes of chiefs that I know wear it. Okay, here it represents authority, a symbol of authority. Under that cap, you will see leaves there, green leaves. That leaf is representing longevity. It's Ewe Akoko leaves that they use to bless anybody that has been enthroned as a new traditional ruler in Yoruba land. They use Akoko leaves, they put it under their cap. Here, it is representing longevity. That is long or sustainability, but actually they call it longevity. Okay, now on both sides of this shield, you have coconut tree or coconut palm everywhere in Lagos, in Badagry division, Ekpe division, Lagos division, Ibile, Ikeja division, Badagry division, Ikorodu division, Lagos division, and Ekpe division. You will see these plants. It even inside Alausa is there. It grows everywhere naturally. It is a symbol of agriculture. It's because of the nature of our land, because of our topography and our soil culture. So it's a very, very, but don't let us, I want to say it's a very, very rich plant. I want to start talking about when we're very small, it takes years to germinate, to come. It can take up to 3 years before you can see it when you plant it. Let's leave that one. So it's a symbol of agriculture here. Now, we have the red color representing commerce. We have the yellow color representing transport. That is If you want to remember, they say color of our commercial bus and taxi, they are yellow. So it's a symbol of transportation here. You see the blue color there is representing water. They call it aquatic splendor. Water everywhere around Lagos. God really bless this state. May God continue to bless Lagos and anybody that love this state. May God continue to bless them. That's the only place that we have. Okay, fishermen. You saw those. That symbol is representing, that picture you see, the picture of fishermen is representing the traditional occupation. As I said earlier, if you go to Badagry, you see fishermen, right from our history. If you go to Ekpe, you see fishermen, right from our history. If you go to Ikorodu, you see fishermen. If you go to Lagos Division is made up of 5 local governments. Lagos Division is different from Lagos Island. Some public servant will be calling Lagos Island Division. There's nothing like Lagos Island Division. No, we have Lagos Division. Under Lagos Division, we now have Lagos Island local government. After Lagos Island, we have Etiosa local government. After Etiosa, we have Lagos Mainland local government. After Lagos Mainland, we have Apapa local government. After that, we now have Surulere local. They are together like that. That is where Nigeria started from. That is where we have Lagos, the Lagos that was visited by the Portuguese. They are the one that give us this name, Lagos. It's not an English word. So my people, when we are very small, when you see any elderly person, they will say Lagosian because it's not an English word. They say Lagosian. But when I get to the south, people start saying Lagosian. When I get to school, they say Lagosian, Lagosian. But our people call it Lagosian. If you go to where we have elderly people, it's Lagosian because it's a Portuguese word. So which one? Okay, now we have a circle, which is a wheel, like a gearing wheel. Inside that red, it represents industry. If you remember the symbol of labor, they use this thing. So that wheel is representing industry. Also called power. Under the yellow, that yellow background, on top of that yellow, you have cowrie shells. It represents the oldest medium of exchange, as in money for doing business, oldest medium of exchange. I think we have explained everything there. You will notice that the shield is divided into 3. 1, 2, 3. There is a 3 line that look like Y in the middle. That 3 line represent the past, the present, and the future. Past, present, and the future. So that's that. If we have any question about Lagos, we are here. We answer that. So let's leave that one. But remember, Lagos Island is different from Lagos Division. Lagos Island is from Obalindi. That Obalindi, there is a canal there. It is called McGregor Channel. McGregor was a former governor general in Lagos. McGregor Channel. From that channel connect that marina water with Lagos Lagoon on the other side. Then we now have the water under the terminal and the water on the other side. We now have the one around Costain, between Dumota or Akpogba and Costain. It's a complete island surrounded by water, completely surrounded. That's where we have Lagos Island, though. Yeah, you see people calling Victoria Island Lagos Island. Everywhere. You see, in fact, these people should Lagos save us, yeah.
So we have like 15 minutes. We have like 15 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, exercise. Assuming the government is planning to host a major event next year, and there is no sufficient funds, that there is insufficient funds, advise the government on what to do. This one, please put yourself in the position of a level 17 officer, and you are facing interview for an appointment, and they ask you this question. Prepare yourself ahead. They may not ask you this type of question, but I can bet you this type of questions are available for senior officers. They may not ask you for promotion purpose, but they exist as questions waiting for many of us. So put yourself in the position of a level 17 officer. Know the kind of interview a level 17 officer can face. If they ask you, what will you say? Okay, since we don't have time, I'll just wait for like 2 responses, only two. Okay, somebody say engage private company sponsors. Thank you. International organization to co-fund. Thank you. Okay, thank you for that response. Thank you. Prioritize your needs. Request for sponsor. Prioritize your needs. Solicit funds from private bodies. Source for more IGR. Can issue bond. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. All those responses are fantastic. Somebody say we can issue bond. That means we are borrowing. When you sell bond, that means you collect money, you give them bond certificate, then you pay them later. That is good. Somebody say we can engage the private sector. That one is also good. That is called PPP, public-private partnership. They can help us to maybe build the stadium or provide funding, because in the private sector, they are also after profit. You have to part with something. So that is that. Some people say we can borrow money, okay. Some people say we can prioritize our need. Okay. Now, what I want to say about this question is that first, you find out, is that program going to contribute to the Teams Plus agenda? That program, is it in line with the Lagos State Development Plan? For example, it may require you to build airports in Lagos Island, which is not possible. It may require you to do something that may not be okay for the future of Lagos. Remember, for this level, you think like a manager. Is it going to bring revenue? Is it going to reduce cost? If it's not going to bring revenue and it's not going to bring efficiency, what is it going to bring? Is it going to enhance government reputation? So you look at so many things. So is it not going to leave us in a deficit position after the hosting? Is it going to bring in more investors? There are so many things we need to consider first before we mention all those things. All those things we mention are okay, but there are still other things. You consider government agenda. Is it in line with our agenda? So that is that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. I'm happy to be with you today. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you have questions, we have few time. I can. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. Quick one. If you have any question, you can raise your hand. And let me check the chat box. Because of time, so that we can go and prepare for so what was the right? Okay, yeah. Mrs. Yetunde Lakoja, she said, in Teams Plus agenda, where does Office of the Chief of Staff belong?
Okay, sir. Actually, the Office of Chief of Staff supposed to participate in all the pillars, but they can be conveniently placed under making Lagos a 21st century economy. Now, let me say something. The reason why I say they can participate in all the pillars is that that office is representing Mr. Governor. Just as we have Office of Sustainable Development Goal in Lagos State. So when it comes to the Teams Plus agenda, they are like superintending. They are like working with everybody. So that is my position on that, sir. So that office is representing the office of Mr. Governor. So that is it. Thank you. It's just like when we are talking about approving authority. So I told people that we have the governor, we have the deputy governor that can approve money. We have the commissioner for economic budget, and then we have chief of staff. People now told me chief of staff does not approve. We now say that if you work in governor's office, it is chief of staff that you get your approval from. Any agency under governor's office, you may get your approval from chief of staff. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. We have many questions here, but most of the questions based on Teams Plus agenda. Where does fire and rescue service belong under Teams agenda? I think
security and governance, sir. Security and governance. I want to say something about that. We grew up to know it to be fire service. Then as a result of reform, they expand the scope of their operation, because in advanced country, it is not only during fire outbreak that you call fire service. When somebody fall inside well, for example, any kind of rescue operation, you can quickly call fire service abroad. And so Lagos follow that trend. You know, Lagos is always futuristic with international outlook. And so when they expand it, you will discover that it has to do with safety. That their operation has to do with safety. So that is that. Next question, sir. Any other question?
Right. I'm trying to check through on these notes. I think okay. Bankole Bangbadebo said, can you please summarize the LSDP in 2 minutes, sir?
Okay. The LSDP is a long-term plan. It's a long-term plan that covers a period of 30 years from 2025, because it has been revised. It was originally 2025. Then in 2025, it was originally called LSDP 2025. Now we call it LSDP 2052. So LSDP 2052 is a long-term plan that covers a period of, or we say a multi-year long-term plan that covers a period of 30 years. And containing the vision of Lagos becoming Africa's model mega city, that is an economic and financial hub that is safe, secure, and productive. Then it's how do we want to achieve the vision? Through poverty eradication and human development. Whenever we talk about human development, we talk about health and education. Anywhere around the world, whenever they're talking about human development, the focus will be on health, and that is why those advanced countries don't toy with health and education of their citizens. It is foreigners that will pay for it. Citizens don't pay for school, or they get soft loan. So, and then access to health insurance and so on and so forth. So that is that about Lagos State development plan. So it has 4 dimensions and some policy trust, but I don't want to go more into that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Oladele Rashid Babatunde was asking who designed Lagos State's coat of arms?
The person that designed Lagos State coat of arms, sincerely, I don't know. The only thing I know is that Lagos has a coat of arms about over 100 years ago. Let me say around 1861, when the British came, Lagos was made a colony around 1861 or 1851, a colony of the British. So we have a coat of arms, and it looks like that coat of arms of that, very similar to that of Oba of Lagos. We have a coat of arms then, but the one we're using now, it was when we become a state. You know, there was a Lagos before Nigeria. There was a Lagos, no Lagos state. So when Nigeria was formed in 1914, they brought the northern and the southern protect together, and Lagos still remained the capital. And so after that, later, after independence in 1960, that's about 100 years, 1860 to 1960. After independence in 1960, there was no Lagos state. We only have Lagos, which is Lagos division. Lagos division. Remember, we have landmarks everywhere. There was the capital of Nigeria from City Hall in Lagos Island. That City Hall, they have Catholic Church opposite it, Holy Cross. That's where the capital of Nigeria started from, up to Ikoyi. Then they put the civil servant to Lagos mainland, Ebute Metta precisely. Then the rich whites in Ikoyi. And then the Victoria Island is a slum, is a Ruland. It was named after the mother of Queen Elizabeth. That's Queen Victoria. They named it after her later, after independence, or around the year of independence. So that is that. So that coat of arms, sincerely, I don't know who designed it, but I know that we have a coat of arms before that. We have everything that is Lagos before then. It was when they want to create Lagos in 1967. 1967, May 27, 1967. That's where we have Mobolaji Johnson, who later become a brigadier general. We have Adeyemi Pero, an administrator. We have Olarin Kuka, an accountant. We have 4 officers plus Mobolaji Johnson. So those are the people that started it. So that is that. So then they have to annex part of western region. That's where we have all the Mushin, all these Ikorodu, Epe, Badagry, bring them to create Lagos State. That's why we tell people that Lagos is different from Lagos State, because there is Kaduna City inside Kaduna State. There is Kano City inside Kano State. There's Katsina inside Katsina. So there is a Lagos inside Lagos State. It is not Lagos Island. That one is a local government. There is a Lagos Island, and then there is Lagos State. So it was that administrative division. People call it Ibile. It's not Ibile. Administrative division, not Ibile division. It's just the acronym that is Ibile. The administrative division that we use because there was no local government. That is because of the consistency of Lagos State. They still continue to align plans along that line till date. Any statistics will reflect that trend. Any appraiser, any reporting, it will show. So that is that. And we have been stable, have been consistent, and that has been bringing success to Lagos. So that is that. So if we have any question, again.
Okay, I don't think, no, we have, but you have answered most of it. Everybody just wants you to explain the alignment of Teams Plus agenda with their agents, and with that,
that will be that one will be individual question. That's why we show many.
Time is going. So time is going. Are we okay? Oluwadare Raji. Quick on Raji. Your name, your ministry. You have the floor. Okay. So on this note,
I have my question on the chat, sir.
Can you use that opportunity to say it now?
Yes, sir. So, sir, I will use the opportunity to first appreciate our person. Thanks so very much, sir. So, please, I ask a question there that between a GL11, 10 level officer that is a career professional certified, and the GL12 that is without a career professional certified certification. Please, among these 2 people in the system, how would they be reckoned to when it comes to hierarchy of job in the office?
Okay, sorry, I want to get it properly. You are saying that an officer on a lower level with professional qualification and another officer on another level without professional qualification. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, for that question, you know, we have scheme of service. Scheme of service, what is scheme of service? It's a document that shows the various cadre, the various grade level, and the job schedule, as well as job profile attributable to those people. Let me say it again. It shows different cadre and grade level and the respective job profile, that is designation, and job description, that is a schedule of duty that is attributable to those officers. So it also shows entry level for each cadre. So let me use my profession as an example. For accountants, you can enter from level 6, minimum OND, no school start accountant, minimum of OND or ATS3, which is called AAT, accounting technician, AAT or OND accounting, minimum. Okay. That officer may only get to level 14 maximum. That's one entry point, and it's not common. People don't present OND again. That's why we have level 8, level 10, doing level 6 in the system. So that's why we wish that they may still return OND, not HND. There's need for tactical level officers in almost every cadre, so that it. But don't let us go there. So apart from level 6, we have level 8, which is HND or BSc accounting. Level 8, HND or BSc accounting. That's the second entry point. The third entry point, ACA, ACCA, CNA. If you have professional accounting certificate, they employ you with level 10. If you're already in the service and you have done confirmation and you inform us before you do that certification, if you come out with professional certification before you get to level 10, at any level, they will advance you to level 10. It could be from level 6, level 7, level 8, level 9 to level 10. I also benefit from that. From level 8, I passed my professional exam. I presented it within 1 year. I waited for confirmation. Then after that, I get to level 10 from level 8. So if you pass your professional exam within certain time, before you get to level 10, no. If you're already on level 10, they won't give you advancement again. They will only regularize you. They will change your designation to senior accountant level 10. Now, if you are a professor of accounting or PhD accounting, you have 200 MSc. The scheme of service does not create room for that as far as Lagos State Public Service is concerned. However, there is a clue inside the public service rule for maybe based on the experience and certain, let us leave that one. For doctors, they employ doctors on level 12 and then consultant level 15. If you're a professor, maybe even professor of accounting, you go and become a lecturer, not in core ministry, not in core civil service. So now, to answer the question properly, if the junior officer has a professional qualification that is qualified for a higher entry point, and he made it official as at the time of acquiring that qualification, and the officer presents it to a PMB as appropriate, he followed the appropriate steps, the officer will be elevated to that required level. But as long, even if he qualifies, as long as officially they have not redesignated the officer to a higher level, he will continue to be under the supervision or reporting under that the senior officer that does not have professional qualification. In my profession, if I am on level 9 or level 10 and I don't have professional qualification, and a level 8 has that professional qualification, the level 8 will be recognized more than provided that he has presented and he has been elevated to level 10. So we are now at par. Maybe we are on level 10 together. He is my senior. So that is that. However, if both of you are above that level, maybe you're on level 13, and that qualification only take person to level 10. If both of you are on level 13, it is still the same thing. However, they will give recognition to the person as per technical competence, as per accordance of responsibilities. In my own profession, when you have professional certificate, they give you higher responsibilities. So that is that. So I hope I answered the question.
Thank you so much, sir. Very well, sir. So on this note, I will call one of the participants to give a vote of thanks on behalf of all the participants. So on this note, I will call on Ikelomo Okebukola. Mrs. Kikelomo Okebukola, unmute yourself. Mrs. Okebukola, let's hear from you. All right. So I will call on Odukomaya Doyinsola. Can you please unmute yourself and appreciate our facilitator? Mrs. Odukomaya, are you with us? All right.
Good evening, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Russell. In fact, it has been a wonderful time. We've had you like almost 3 times for this session, and it has been an insightful one for all the time. So we really want to appreciate you. And Mr. Jamil, we want to thank you for being there all the time. We pray that the Lord will continue to bless the work of your hand and will prosper you.
Amen.
And to all
Thank you.
participants, congratulations. We'll see you on the greater heights in Jesus' name. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Amen.
So thank you so much, Mrs. Odukomaya. And please make use of the chat box. I've sent the link to join our channel to the chat box. If you are interested in this section slides, join our channel so that we have sent it there already so that you can get your copy from there. And also go through don't stress yourself, just go to our YouTube channel, listen again to all our videos or past sessions. All this will guide you. And don't forget, we are ending our promotion series today. So as from next coming Sunday, we will go back to our Sunday knowledge sharing program. Please join our channel for the updates. Don't say because of examination you will not learn again. Please, learning is continual process, so you need to learn every day. Don't learn only because of purpose, because I have this, I have that. No, keep on learning so that you can, start exercising your brain. Our brain needs learning, updates, like our phone. You can see your phone at times, even without touching it, it will just hibernate and I'll tell you that it's doing what? Updating. So we need to update our brain also. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Rasul, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate you. Despite you are one of the eligible officers, so you are still making the time. You say you don't want to be selfish, so you want to carry everybody along. May God elevate you too, sir. And a very big thank you to Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria. Ever since inception that the core circular came out from Civil Service Commission, they are taking this upon their head and sponsor every one of us to benefit from this. Thank you to them. More grace to their elbow. All the executive and the chairman, we say a very big thank you. We all get to the next level by the grace of God. So thank you so much, and good night. I don't know, Mr. Rasul, if you have any 1 or 2 things to just chip in for the before we end it.
What I just want to say, sir, is that people should endeavor to share knowledge among themselves. As you rightly say, is a form of mental exercise. This will enhance our memory when you face interview. When you know it and you conceal it. If they ask you in interview, it may have, that person may have issue. Another thing, you should have it in mind that normally we're entering in group, either 5-5 or 4-4 or 7-7. So you must rehearse how to introduce yourself. Do your rehearsal at home very well. Your name, oracle number, date of person, appointment, date of last of all those things, designation, name, designation, oracle number. Say it fast and smart. Then follow people as they're answering questions, because if the next person miss it, it could be a bonus for you. Don't miss bonus answer. So also know the names of permanent secretaries. Female permanent secretary 2, male permanent secretary 2. If you don't know anyone, know the one in your sector, permanent secretaries. No permanent secretaries, and commissioners too, 2, and some other things. Then recent trend like this Lagos, this electric boat race, all those recent development like that, have an idea, just a general idea. New budget, current year's budget, budget of sustainability, next year budget, budget of collective prosperity. So all those things, have general idea of those things, and do rehearsal with your colleague, 1 or 2. If you don't have anybody to just with your children to question and answer. So all those things, you don't need much to read. Practice and rehearse. Then follow the news. Follow news. So that is that. I know that by special grace of God, we are all going to succeed together. Just believe it. Have it in mind. Have the belief that you will succeed. Don't be scared of anything. Dress properly. Get there on time. Pray. So that's it. After your interview, don't discuss it with anybody. Go home and relax. Don't discuss with anybody. When you do exam or interview, don't discuss with anybody. What happened to you there? Don't discuss with anybody. Forget it. So I wish you the best. God bless you.
All right.
God bless
Thank you
all
so
of you.